Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to my channel MBBS and BDS lectures. Today our topic is related to general surgery hyperkalemia. Before going to explanation, if you want to watch the same lecture in Urdu Hindi, I already upload the same lecture in Urdu Hindi on my YouTube channel. Go and watch that video. But if you want to watch in English language, then this video is for you. In today's topic, we will study hyperkalemia. The topic outline include definition, pathophysiology, clinical features, causes, investigation, management. We study one by one. First, we start from definition of hyperkalemia. What is hyperkalemia? How we define hyperkalemia? A serum potassium concentration greater than 5.5 milli equivalent per liter is called hyperkalemia. A serum potassium concentration greater than 5.5 milli equivalent per liter is called hyperkalemia. The normal range of potassium in our serum is from 3.5 to 5 milli equivalent per liter. But if it greater than 5.5 milli equivalent per liter, it will be called hyperkalemia. If it become less than 3.5, it will be called hypokalemia. This is the definition of hyperkalemia. Now come to the grade of hyperkalemia. There are three grades of hyperkalemia. Number one, mild. Number two, moderate. Number three, severe. First, mild. If potassium concentration in serum is from 5.5 to 6.5 milli equivalent per liter, it will be called mild hyperkalemia. If potassium concentration is from 6.5 to 8 milli equivalent per liter, it will be called moderate hyperkalemia. If serum concentration is greater than 8 milli equivalent per liter, it will be called severe hyperkalemia. These are the three grades of hyperkalemia: mild, moderate, severe. Now, after definition and grades, come to the pathophysiology. Now, mainly the clinical feature of hyperkalemia is cardiac arrhythmias. Now, in pathophysiology, we will understand how cardiac arrhythmias is developed. In pathophysiology, this is the cardiac muscle, and the resting membrane potential of cardiac muscle is from minus 85 to minus 95 millivolt. Mean the inside of the cardiac muscle cell there is a negative ions, and therefore the resting membrane potential is in negative because inside there is more negativity. Now, in hyperkalemia, when serum potassium concentration become increased, then inside the cardiac muscle the potassium concentration also increase, because from sodium potassium ATPase the potassium will be moved inside. When potassium, due to hyperkalemia, potassium are more concentrated inside the cardiac muscle cell, the negativity will be changed into positivity. Mean the more negativity will be become decrease and move toward less negativity. Resting membrane potential move from minus 85 to minus 95 milli volt to minus 30 millivolt. Mean from 85 minus 85 and 95, the resting membrane potential become decreased to minus 30 millivolt. Mean from more negativity, resting membrane potential move toward less negativity, because minus 95 is more negative and minus 30 is less negative. When resting membrane potential become reached to minus 30 millivolt, then the depolarization chances of the cardiac muscle will be increased, because here the resting membrane potential is more negative. There will be more sodium ion required to move from outside the cell to inside the cell to change this negativity into positivity. But here the negativity is less, because due to more potassium inside accumulation, there is already positivity is present. there will be less sodium ion required to move from outside to inside to cause depolarization. Mean depolarization become fast, depolarization become easy, and here the depolarization take more time, but here the depolarization become fast. And when small amount of sodium move inward, the cell will be depolarized due to presence of positive potassium ion, due to presence of less negative resting membrane potential. Mean the depolarization become fast, and when depolarization become fast, the repolarization also will be fast. When depolarization is fast, repolarization is fast, in result there will be cardiac arrhythmias. This is the pathophysiology of cardiac arrhythmias, because the depolarization and repolarization will be fast due to more sodium accumulation inside the cell, and decrease the negative resting membrane potential from -95 to -30. This is the pathophysiology of hyperkalemia. Now come to the clinical features. In clinical features, mainly hyperkalemia is asymptomatic, but when its symptoms appear, the symptoms of hyperkalemia is cardiac arrhythmias, and number 2 is sudden cardiac arrest. These are the two symptoms. Number 1, cardiac arrhythmias, and number 2, sudden cardiac arrest. But in main cases, the hyperkalemia is mainly asymptomatic. This is the clinical feature of hyperkalemia. Now come to the causes. There are two causes of hyperkalemia. The first cause is increased potassium intake. If we take more potassium, in result there will be hyperkalemia. For example, in oral IV fluids more intake. If we increase the intake of IV fluids, oral fluids, in result there will be hyperkalemia. Like we take more IV dextrosaline fluids, in result there will be hyperkalemia, because dextrosaline have potassium concentration. The first cause is increased potassium intake. For example, oral IV fluids more intake. The second cause is decreased output. If potassium output is decreased, mean when potassium excrete from our body, its excretion from our body decrease, in result there will be hyperkalemia, because the potassium accumulated in serum not move outward from our body. For example, in renal failure. For example, drugs cause hyperkalemia. Drugs decrease the output of potassium. Which drugs? Potassium sparing diuretics. Its name show potassium sparing diuretics, mean it preserve the potassium, it save the potassium, it decrease the output of potassium but remove the more fluids, mean diuretics. Second is ACE inhibitors, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. Angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors also decrease the output of potassium from our body. In result, there will be hyperkalemia. In decreased output, first example is renal failure. In renal failure, there will be decreased output of potassium from our body. The second example is drugs, for example, potassium sparing diuretics and angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. These are the two causes of hyperkalemia. Now come to the investigations. In investigation, we do two investigations. First, urea and electrolyte. When we do urea and electrolyte, the potassium concentration will be high in hyperkalemia. Second, we do ECG, and in ECG there will be abnormalities present. The ECG will not be normal, there will be abnormalities. Now in ECG, the abnormalities is regarding to grade of hyperkalemia. If hyperkalemia is mild, there will be prolonged PR segment of ECG. The PR segment of ECG will be prolonged. If there is moderate hyperkalemia, there will be widening, there will be loss of P wave. If mild, there will be prolonged PR segment. If moderate, there will be loss of P waves in ECG. If severe hyperkalemia, there will be widening of QRS complex of ECG. Now the abnormalities of ECG is different is regarding to the grade of hyperkalemia. If mild, there will be prolonged PR segment. If moderate, there will be loss of P wave in ECG. If severe, there will be widening of QRS complex of ECG. This is the two investigation. Number one, urea and electrolyte. Number two, ECG. Now come to the management. Management is also according to the grade of hyperkalemia. If hyperkalemia is mild, we remove only the causative drugs. We remove the causative agent like causative drug. If hyperkalemia is moderate, first we remove the causative drug CDR, causative drug plus specific treatment. If mild, only remove the causative drug. If moderate, remove the causative drug plus we provide specific treatment to patient. Number three, if hyperkalemia is severe, this will be considered as medical emergency, and for severe hyperkalemia management we give calcium gluconate, and calcium gluconate is cardioprotective. How calcium gluconate is cardioprotective? Calcium gluconate decrease the past depolarization and decrease the past repolarization. In result, there will be no cardiac arrhythmias. How? Because calcium gluconate is cardioprotective, it decreases the excitability of cardiac muscle. When it decreases the excitability of cardiac muscle, in result there will be no cardiac arrhythmias. When cardiac arrhythmia is treated, the patient's symptoms will be treated. The patient hyperkalemia will be treated. Now, today we studied hyperkalemia definition, pathophysiology, grades, clinical features, causes, investigation, management. Now today our topic is complete. If you like my video, press the like button and share this video with your friends. If you new to my channel, subscribe my channel by pressing the red subscribe button and also press the bell icon to open the all notification in order to receive my each new video notification. For watching my videos, I am very thankful to you. Thank you very much.